Hey guys, Kenneth Yim here, and we'll talk about the average price of Toronto real estate, and it's just hit an all-time record high. The question I get every single day is, hey Ken, is now a good time to buy or sell real estate? Well, to answer that question, let's get right into the numbers. We're in the month of November and we just got October's MLS numbers. The average price of a home in all housing types, that's condos, detached houses, just everything, in the entire GTA is, drumroll please, $1,055,000. That's an increase of 19.3% year over year. If you compare to last month, that's a 1.7% increase. I know you're not supposed to track month-to-month numbers because of seasonality and all that, but ultimately we hit a new price record. At the same time, the number of sales has dropped by 6.9%. That means there's fewer homes for sale, so the prices have shot up. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, prices are just ultimately a reflection of supply and demand at its basic core principle. If you just want to get a little bit more granular with me, let's get into that. Detached houses in Toronto are up by 21.1% year over year on average, and in York Region, it's up by a whopping 28.7%. That's crazy. Downtown Toronto condos, on the other hand, are up by only 8.9%, which is still a lot. It currently sits at an average price of $801,000. It did drop a little bit from last month though, but that can be just due to rounding errors. There's only 703 units sold last month downtown. Where do I think prices are going? Well, there's gonna be several factors which sway which way prices are headed. Let's talk about downtown Toronto condos first. With inclusionary zoning coming to all new development applications in the city of Toronto, that means that all new residential developments must include affordable housing unit. And what does affordable mean? Well, the City of Toronto sets out limits on how much they can be rented out for, and there's a table right here. 5 to 10% of new condo projects will have to be rented out as affordable, and that requirement will slowly increase to 22% by 2030. The goal is to have 40,000 new affordable rental housing homes and 4,000 new affordable ownership homes by 2030, and they must remain affordable for 99 years. This really is aimed towards households that make too much money for social housing, but not enough for current market rents and prices. Okay, that's a great idea and all, but someone has to pay for all of this, and I bet you it's probably not gonna be the City of Toronto. So we'll see whether it's the developers, the landowners, or the consumers who will be the ones taking the hit of building these affordable units as inclusionary zoning rolls out. In my opinion, it'll probably be the consumers paying for most of the cost of these units. I mean, like basically developers increase prices as much as the market can bear anyway, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. So I think housing prices will probably go up in the near term until competition kicks in, and then other developers will be forced to drop prices if they actually have a product that actually sells or the market continues to go up. I don't know. But I think the very last person that'll drop the prices are the landowners. They're holding out because they have land that's been probably passed down through generations, or they're probably institutions that have deep pockets and are able to hold out for several years or even decades until they get to the point where they actually really want to sell. Either way, I think inclusionary zoning is a good idea in theory for society. People like you and I are the ones, unfortunately, paying for these costs for the people like you and I buying the individual condos. With downtown condos averaging a price of $1,600 per square foot in the core, I could easily see $2,000 per square foot as a new normal in the coming years. As condos get more expensive, that just increases the demand for low-rise housing, which basically just increases the cost overall up the line. So to answer your question about whether or not now is the right time to buy or sell real estate, I think it really depends on your personal needs are and what your personal real estate portfolio looks like today and how much money you have saved up in the bank, really. I mean, real estate is a great hedge against inflation, and if you've been sitting on cash, you know how you've been punished over the years for your buying power because it shrinks and because the price of everything just continues to skyrocket. If most of your net worth is in your primary home and you always say to yourself, I would sell, but where would I move to? Well, then maybe it's time to consider refinancing your home and buying that investment property. On the other hand, if you think inflation is just temporary and prices will come back down as interest rates rise and as supply chains start opening up again, then maybe now is a good time to sell. I think maybe you just have to have a good place to reinvest your capital so that you don't just blow it on something stupid. Unless it's your intention to YOLO out of yourself for a few years and live on a yacht or something, I don't know. In other words, I think you should buy if you aren't holding on to any real estate and only sell if you really, really need to. So reach out to us if you have a specific scenario that you want us to walk us through, or if you want to zoom in on a particular neighborhood and get some home price statistics or whatever. I can get as granular as you want, down to your street if you really want to. Just go on our website and book an appointment, and thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
Add it up.